Hi, and welcome to CNC, or Colonist News Channel. Today we have a special guest who's here to tell us about the bison hunt. His name is Howard Adams, and he is of Ms.T descent. So Mr. Adams, what is the bison hunt?
The bison hunt is a Ms.T tradition where we go out 1 or 2 times a year to hunt bison. Once in the spring and once in the fall. It gives us Ms.T a strong sense of community, pride, and discipline.
And how many of the Ms.T usually participate in the bison hunt?
Over 1,000 people participate in each hunt, and we need around 1,000 Red River carts, which are 2-wheeled prairie carts.
How do you go about hunting these bison?
We start off by following the bison over a long distance on our horses. We actually have 2 types of horses, the saddle horse, which is used to pull the Red River carts, and the buffalo runner, which we use to hunt the bison. After we follow the bison back to their grazing area, where they are the easiest to hunt, we start hunting them. The men hunt the buffaloes on the buffalo runners with muzzle loaders. Muzzle loaders are firearms that load from the muzzle.
Wow, how much meat and hide do you guys bring back?
Over 1 million pounds.
Whoa! How do you bring it all back?
We use the Red River carts and get help of the children and women we bring along to load all the meat and hide.
Are there any rules to the bison hunt?
Yes, they are the following. No buffalo to be run on the Sabbath day. No party to fork off, lag behind, or go before without permission. No person or party to run buffalo without the general order. Every captain with his men, in turn, to patrol the camp and keep guard. For the first trespass against these laws, the offender to have his saddle and bridle cut up. For the second offense, the coat to be taken off the offender's back and be cut up. For the third offense, the offender to be flogged. Any person convicted of theft, even to the value of sinew, to be brought to the middle of the camp, and the crier to call out his or her name 3 times, adding the word thief at each time.
Oh, neat. Are there any dangers to the bison hunt?
Yes, it is very dangerous. Injury and death occur frequently, from exploding guns, horses tripping and falling on gopher holes, and the pointed horns of the bison swinging.
Geez, that's rough. What of the bison do you use? And for what do you use it for?
We actually use all parts of the bison. We use the rawhide for containers, shields, buckets, moccasins, ropes, saddles, blankets, snowshoes. We use the buckskin for cradles, moccasins, robes, shirts, leggings, dresses, bags, teepees. We use the hair for headdresses, ornaments, moccasins, stuffings, amulets. We use the skulls for rituals. We use the horns for arrows, spoons, ladles. We use the bones for tools, pipes, knives, arrowheads, shovels, splints, and clubs. We use the meat for pemmican, jerky, and soup. We use the fat for soap, cooking, and medicines.
Holy, that sure is efficient. Before the show you said you had footage of the bison hunt. Could you show that to us?
Of course, I gave it to your technical director before the show. Here it is now.
Thank you for your time. It has been a pleasure having you on the news.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
Hi, and welcome back to CNC News. I am here with Thomas Thompson and Frank Gubashko. We are here to talk about the Battle of Seven Oaks.
Yes, this battle all began with the competition between Hudson's Bay Company and the Northwest Company. The Nor'westers expanded their territory into the west, and they built trading posts in the Red River Valley. So, when the Red River settlement was created by Lord Selkirk of HBC, the Nor'westers became infuriated. They believed that the settlement was just a few ways for Hudson's Bay Company to gain control over the fur trade in the area.
The Ms.T were also mad. They worried that the farmers would scare the buffalo away, which they needed for food and clothes. They believed the settlers would take away their jobs. The stress between the Nor'westers, the Ms.T, and HBC officials, and the colonists in the Red River Valley rose.
Robert Semple was the new governor-in-chief of Rupert's Land, or governor of the company's territories in Hudson Bay. Under his command, Fort Gibraltar, a Northwest Company fort, was conquered. Semple's decision was to send a message, so he ordered the fort to be burnt.
When the Ms.T and the Nor'westers saw the burn, they were furious, practically declared a war. Cuthbert Grant was the leader of a Ms.T group. He decided, along with the rest of the Ms.T, to confront Semple.
Semple was at Fort Douglas. He received news that Grant and his men were on the way, and that there was a chance of danger. Semple was not worried. He decided to go and meet Grant. He believed he could use his authority as governor to tell them to stop. He decided to read them a proclamation that prohibited the Ms.T from acting violently against the Red River settlement.
Semple and a group of 27 men met Cuthbert and his men under a group of trees that were known as 7 Oaks. They exchanged threats with each other.
Semple disliked being called a scoundrel. The threats eventually turned into pushing and shoving. A gun went off, and Semple was shot in the upper leg. This started a gun battle. In a matter of minutes, Semple and 20 of his men lay dead on the ground. Only one Ms.T was dead. Grant took a prisoner and sent him to demand the surrender of Fort Douglas. The colony gave up immediately.
This was the beginning of an all-out war between the Ms.T and the HBC. The fight was no longer about controlling the fur trade. It was now about the hate and struggle for power. That is all for CNC News today. We'll come back tomorrow to learn about Ms.T's pemmican program, who is selling all the pemmican to the NWC.
Yeah.